Hi everyone, welcome to another video. We're at the falls again. We've got the Air 2S and we thought we'd take it out for a little bit of a fly, show you what the differences are between this and the Air 2. So hopefully this is useful to you. Right, yeah, so we've got the Air 2S. Basically, this is the drone. Okay, now as you can see, it's quite a big upgrade on the Air 2. We've got the 1-inch sensor in the front, which is basically more akin to the Mavic 2 Pro. We've got 5.4K 30 frames a second footage from it. You can do 4K 60 and all the other things you could do with the Air, but now you've got this extra 5.4K. And also new to the UK and Europe is the ADS-B. Basically, we didn't have ADS-B before last time when the Mavic Air 2 came out. In the US they did because they got lucky, I think, because basically there wasn't enough hardware components available when they made the Mavic Air 2 to service both the North American and the sort of European market. So all the FCC drones had ADS-B on the Mavic Air 2, but we didn't get it. But this year we have got it, so that's great. One good thing about this is basically we've got a battery that basically should work on the Mavic. Well, it does work, in fact, on the Mavic Air 2, so this is exactly the same battery, as you can see. In fact, it even says Mavic Air 2 on it. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, yeah, it is basically the same battery system. So that's pretty cool. Now, I don't want to do like a complete unboxing, but I did earlier have a look at the drone and I'm going to unbox it because I only got it today. Basically, what we've got the box itself, the bag itself, which is very similar to the Mini 2, but it's not in fact the same as the Mini 2's bag. It's actually you know, it's a little bit bigger, I'd say. So I've seen eBay listings where they've talked about that they're interchangeable. They're not. It's slightly bigger. I wouldn't get this if you have a Mini 2 because it'll be rattling around in there, and I wouldn't get the Mini 2 version of the bag if you're thinking of getting the non-Flymore combo. I would stick to getting the Air 2 version. Okay, so in the bag, that's what it looks like, or as it arrives. It's kind of got like your accessories in there. It's got the drone kind of neatly packed in, just looking through the crack of that. You've got when you take it all out, you've got the drone. It came sort of padded in foam, and the propellers were foamed up. The prop kind of connectors were foamed up, and the bag, as you can see, very similar to Mini 2 bag. You get a charging adapter in there. You get remote control. You also get so this is it all out, brought out. You've got the drone, of course. You've got the sets of props. The props, you get 12 props. Basically, that's six. That's like 6 pairs. So basically, you can replace. You basically get 3 sets of propellers. So you get if all your propellers busted, you would get 3 different. You would get 3 replacement. So yeah, you get 1 set, and then you get 2 replacements. So you can basically replace all your propellers twice. I'm always confused how to explain that. In the box you get 3 batteries. Let's just basically have a look what we get. So you get 3 batteries. One's already in the drone, and you get 2 spare. This is in the Flymore combo. You get a set of ND filters, and that's one of the things about this about the camera on this drone, is that it's not variable aperture like the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro has a variable aperture camera, and that enables you to control like the amount of light going into the sensor. So this drone, they've bundled in ND filters to kind of achieve a similar result, but whether or not, I'm not an expert in kind of cinematography or filming, so I'm guessing there's better videos that will explain why the ND filters are useful or not, but basically they've given you them in there, so that's pretty cool. And you know, I basically, the difference is with the previous generation, so I've got like the Air 2 there and the Air 2S side by side. Basically the big difference of course is the 1-inch sensor, and the propellers have a different color. It's got 2 upward facing sensors now, which actually kind of work as kind of forward sensors. So when the drone's going quite fast, it will kind of tilt up, and then well, it tilts down, so the face is kind of lowered, and that basically will act as a kind of like extra forward sensor to basically, you know, work for your obstacle avoidance. Now, one thing to note, the propellers are, they look almost identical, but I found the propellers to be slightly slimmer, like thinner. The feel of them when I was kind of running my fingers over them, they felt a bit thinner to me. Now, whether that's to reduce the weight, when I compared the 2 propellers, one set of my propellers did look a bit kind of, I don't know, just the quality control, it was a little bit kind of, I don't know, they weren't as nice around the edges of the propeller. Just didn't feel quite as good quality as the Air 2, you know, the original Mavic Air 2, which were really nice and sort of clean. So I changed those propellers, so I haven't got those particular ones on my drone now, but you know, that's something to watch out for. Enough of the unboxing stuff. Okay, SD card detected. We do want to switch to that because that's going to make a big difference. And what we want to do is we want to check what we are filming in, and let's have a look, because these are the new settings now. So right, they've changed the way it works a little bit. So before, you'd open up the video menu and you'd be able to kind of get into what frames per second. Now it doesn't work like that. You've got to tap on the bottom bit which says res and FPS, and we can go into 5.4K or we can film in 4K. So I think we'll start off trying 5.4K, see if we get, you know, see what the quality's like on that. Okay, so let's start the recording, and then let's do takeoff. Right, so this is the first time this drone is flying, basically.
Takeoff.
Yep. Propeller installation error.
Please check it on the map.
I don't think there is a propeller installation error, because I definitely put them in perfectly earlier. So let's just check everything, make sure your propellers are all in perfectly. Just make sure, because these are important things to get right. Yeah, I think what's happened is because the ground's not perfectly flat, maybe it's basically, you know, I just want to check. It's a good safety feature though on this drone and on a lot of the DJI ones. So I do that. Let's try again. Right, let's see. Yeah, so I think basically the issue was just right, so it's going forward nice and slowly because it's got the obstacle avoidance sensors, as you can tell. So I don't know if you can see on the camera. Now it's not letting me go forward. Won't let me go forward at all. So basically, can you see that drone on there? I don't know. No. I need to look at the screen so I can see. It'll beep like crazy, of course. But yeah, right. Yeah, you can see the drone. So, right. So the whole idea is we'll spin it round. It won't let us go any further forward. But I think there's ways of doing that actually. What we'll do is we'll go into the settings and we will. You can change it to bypass instead of brake, and that's how you do it. So no, it's not letting me forward, is it? That's different to the Air 2. I would say on the Air 2 you could move it forward. So, I don't know. But anyway, Right, if you point it that way, oh, it's picked up, it's me again. Yeah, so basically, it's looking okay, but it won't let me go forward, basically. It won't let me do anything like that, so that's fine, which is good. It means that the obstacle avoidance all works in 5.4K, so let's take it up. Let's take it up, drop the camera down a little bit, and let's have a good look over the, fours and see if we can sort of, you know, see if we can get some nice footage and see if we're basically dealing with a nice looking video camera on here. And it'd be interesting to see how good the 1-inch sensor is, because this is my first drone with like a 1-inch sensor. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool. So yeah, it's going forward, no problems. Really good, really nice sunny day actually. Got lucky actually, because it was a bit sort of like, you know, it wasn't sunny and then it kind of went sunny, so we were quite lucky really. But yeah, basically we're getting some nice, get some nice footage. Now it's in normal mode, so that's the kind of, you know, it's going to yaw quite a bit actually. I recently did a Mini 2 video where I've customized the settings, which I haven't put up yet, but I've customized the settings to make the yaw turn a bit smoother. And you can probably do that with this one as well actually. So if you go into control and then you go down to advanced gimbal settings, so in normal mode we can put the smoothness right up to 30, and we could bring the rotational speed down as much as we can. Yeah, so pitch smooth, yaw smoothness actually, we want that to be the maximum, I think. Pitch smoothness, maybe bring that down to about 19. Yeah, so right, that should give us a nicer turn. So yeah, you can see, look, now I'm turning nice and smoothly. Now you can switch into you know, cine mode and what have you, but that gives you the options there to kind of turn in a nicer sort of fluid motion. So yeah, that's worth knowing those things. So yeah, you know, it's looking pretty good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Basically the camera looks really decent, which is what we were expecting from this drone really. Yeah, it's beautiful. A nice look over the lock there, and we've got the gimbal smoothness going quite nicely actually, so quite easy to get in and quickly change those settings. So you know, that's pretty impressive. Now if I hadn't done that on the Mini 2 before, whether I would have known that, but yeah, it's pretty nice going down the river, no problem. Nice looking around, pretty good. Yeah, well happy with this actually. It's really, drop the camera down the wrong way and bring it back up. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Yeah, so the general sort of like flying is nice. What we'll try and do is we'll try and do some of the quick shots with it. So what I'm going to do is bring it back towards me, bring it back to where I am, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some of the quick shots. We've also got something called mastershots on this, which is the difference between the Air 2 and, right, yeah, so it's coming up behind me now. Where is it? Yeah, it's right over me. So I'm just going to bring it down near me, and then hopefully, yeah, so we're good. Yeah, so the yaw turning is nice and smooth. So I'm going to bring it down towards me, so I know I'm there. God, it moves pretty fast actually, pretty good. I don't know if it goes any faster than the Mavic Air 2. I think the specs are very, very similar to the Mavic. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go, I think you have to stop the recording. You've got to go into, see, this is one thing I don't like about the Mavic, so you have to go into the quick shot separately. So we're going to do a droney, I think. Just set it out to like 40 meters. Okay, right. Oh, one thing to do actually, let's change the quick shot. Let's go back out of that menu. Let's change the quick shots. In fact, I'm going to set it to H265 because I think you get more detail in that. Right, so what I want to do is I want to find out where because what they do is they set the quick shots to, annoyingly, to 1080p. And so what we got to try and do is just find the setting again, because I'm not sure where it was again now. I would have thought it'd be in camera, but what we want to do is we want that setting to be in 4K really. So hang on, let me come back out. Oh yeah, of course you tap on the res, don't you? Yeah, so they've moved that from the last one. So you basically can tap on yourself. Now it's going to do a droney.
3, 2.
So it'll count you down, and you go wave and go, yay, see you later. I'm in a really lovely location on, you know, a beach. And that is those kind of videos, you know, the kind you've seen. So then it will do a quick shot, and that's really cool. So it's done that, right, yeah, and now it will return to you, hopefully to the same spot that it started. And we'll try a couple more of the quick shots, but then I want to try the master shot out, because that's the new feature that comes with this. Right, yeah, so it's returning down. Okay, it's beeping because it can see me. Right, okay, so let's go in. Right, so let's do something slightly different. Let's do circle. Right, okay, right, so we've got that set. And it does catch people out, this whole changing the resolution thing, because if you don't, yeah, here we go. So, right, start. So it should circle me.
1.
That's cool, yeah, it's working good. And one of the things you get on this drone, so this basically, this is, you know, the Mavic Mini will do these kind of shots as well, so that's quite cool. So it's not just this drone that does these sort of quick shots. So it kind of turned at an angle then. The drone actually turned at an angle, so it's basically moving to get the camera in a really good position. Yeah, so it's tracking you. So yeah, so a Mavic Mini can do these shots. It can actually do some tracking, but it's only rudimental tracking. So let me just go back out. I want to go into normal video now again. Right, so we're back in the 5.4K. It's going to be interesting to see how that all edits out. So now you've got another kind of tracking on the Mavic, well, sorry, the Air 2S, but basically this is a, you know, this is the same feature that you had on the Air 2. Hang on, so you can't basically do ActiveTrack then in 5.4K. So we're going to have to stop the video, switch to 4K. We're in 4K 30, that's what we want. Record again, and then you go over. You want to skip this annoying sort of thing. You want to do ActiveTrack. Hang on, it always pops up that kind of window to help you out. Right, so you got trace and you got parallel. So I'm just going to do, right, I'm going to switch, no, there you go. I'm going to do trace. And where's the actual go button? Where's the go button? Hang on, maybe try, oh no, trace, go. Right, here we go. So now this drone should follow me. Basically, I should be able to walk around and it will track me and it will follow me. So, and I think, will it like try and move around me as well? I think it will, yeah. So if you're walking around, this is good if you want to walk and talk and have the drone kind of following you. Go, oh yeah, I'm doing a program about sticks on the ground, and this is really useful. And you know, please subscribe to my stick channel. And that's basically what that's for. So yeah, so that's how you do tracking, ActiveTrack. So then you can stop it, and you can do this all within your, you know, your actual video. So Spotlight is where it will, I think it will basically, it will keep the focus on you. Right, so let's do Spotlight. Yeah, so hang on, no, you basically select yourself, skip that, close that, and then you do Spotlight. So you've got yourself selected. Now what it will do is that will track you, but it enables you to move like around and to the side and that kind of stuff. So you've got controls, but it will keep the camera focused on you. So Spotlight's kind of like half tracking, I suppose. It will keep the camera on you, but you are controlling the actual movement of the drone. So if I want it to go up or down, so if I want to go up, I press up. If I want to go side to side, I do that. Press side to side, but it'll keep the camera focused on you, so you don't have to worry about it being focused on you or not. That's basically that's what Spotlight does, as opposed to the normal ActiveTrack, which will kind of try and follow you, and it will move the drone itself and focus the camera on you, if that makes sense. So POI, right, that can be done fast or slow. Now it says in the manual to be really careful with this, because if you do it too fast, it'll kind of spin round. It's got no side sensors, so it could like basically go into you. So it should now circle me. It's still tracking me, but it will kind of do like a circle, like I'm a point of interest. So it's imagining I'm the Eiffel Tower or something like that, but it's moving objects as well. So you could have a car, you know, flying through the desert, that sort of thing, you know. And that's how that works. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feature, and it's following me no problem. So right, we'll get that to stop. Now, the new feature in this. So I'm gonna come out of ActiveTrack now, and I think I've got to stop recording, and I go back into the menu, and we got mastershots. Now this will automatically create a like really kind of cool social media type video from different angles. It'll kind of do like dronies and rockets and what have you to basically make a cool video of you. So what I want to do is I want to come away from that, and then I select me again, and it's done that, and it will tell you the estimated flight time. So again, be careful with the resolution. It only allows you 1080p, which is that's a weird thing. I saw another reviewer do it, and I thought, do they not know how to switch it into 4K? Anyway, it obviously has to be 4K. So, sorry, 1080p. So let's give that a go. 2, 1. Okay, so now it's going to do something. It's going to do a load of shots, basically. It's going to take itself 2 minutes of filming me itself, and it's presumably it's going to do all different maneuvers, and it's going to put maybe even a soundtrack on it, I believe. So let's see what it does. But yeah, it should be doing it. But it's a very cool feature. You know, it's again, DJI drones are quite known for coming up with really cool kind of, you know, easy to do shots. So you don't have to be like kind of a professional drone operator to kind of like get cool views. You know, you don't have to be working on Bond films or any of that kind of stuff. So it's doing all its stuff. The only thing is I don't like, nah, anyway, yeah, so it produced a video, but the problem was you need a lot more space, and it's basically allowing you to tap. Right, anyway, I'm going to try and get it to return to home now. The reason I stopped it there was because it was about to go into a tree doing its master shot. So I'm going to do a master shot, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over there somewhere, and we'll see what we get. So I'm gonna let it land a second. Now I don't know, it should have precision landing. Now we had an issue with the Mavic Air 2 where if you did quick shots, its precision landing was a bit off after that. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this will land actually with precision onto the landing pad. But it's coming down, and it's looking, I'm ready to cancel it if it goes wrong. It's looking for the landing pad, I think. You know, I think they've really worked on the precision landing on this. That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. They have really worked on the landing, on the precision landing, because when I did quick shots previously, we had lots of problems with that. So, right, so we're actually we're not in video mode. We need to get into video mode now for some reason. How do we get out of that? No, we don't want to go in there. Right, hang on, I want to get out of there. So how do you... oh, that's taking a picture. Right, one thing to... oh yeah, there you go. Go into video mode. Right, so one thing to note, that the Mavic Air 2 had a 48 megapixel, you know, a claimed 48 megapixel sort of camera. Whereas this is only 20 megapixels, and it can do 12 megapixel images, I believe. The issue is that the previous drone, it was more of a marketing gimmick. It wasn't really a true 48 megapixels. It was kind of like a quad sensor where they have like 4 sensors stacked, and then basically you still got the same size pixels, but it doesn't produce quite as nice an image. But if it's a really nice day, you might get it looking a lot better. So right, so what I want to do is I want to start the recording again, but this time I'm going to, actually, yeah, I'll do recording. I'm going to take it off again. So let's do a takeoff. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here because I want to basically be as far away from where I was as possible. And the reason being is I want to do this master shots, but I want to kind of have a clearance zone away from trees and stuff. So let's just kind of get away from it all. Right, so let's drop the camera down. Is it looking at me? Yeah, it's looking at me now. Right, now I want to do master shots again. So I'm going to come out of the camera. I'm going to do master shots. I'm going to tap away from that. It's going to be 1080p. That's crazy. Don't know why it has to be 1080p. I'm hoping, like with the Mavic Mini, that they add higher resolutions later. So right now it's creating its masterpiece. We were very close to going to a tree last time, so let's see what it does. You know, you should almost be like, you know, thinking, you know, basically, you know, rubbing your chin or whatever, looking like, you know, you sort of like kind of YouTuber celebrity, while it does a lovely sort of like, you know, master shot of you. So I'm very interested to see how this comes out. But yeah, this would probably look better on a really cool location, but we got the falls. The falls are quite nice. So right, let's see what it does. Let's see how it achieves it. Right, so at some point it's going to do a droney. It's doing that now. I don't think there are any trees behind it, and well, they're not close enough to cause a problem, are they? I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, it hasn't gone as far this time. Hasn't gone as far. You just have to be a bit careful. Unfortunately for it, the sun has just gone in a little bit, so it's just gone behind one of the clouds. It should come back out again. But yeah, you know, I think it's going to be interesting to see what this video looks like. I'm just keeping an eye on it because last time there was definitely a tree, and although it has obstacle avoidance, I don't know if it works in this mode. But yeah, right, so it's going to do a rocket now. Right, so it's going up. That's brilliant. Yep, it's doing that. Right, now it's going to do camera down and circle apparently. So it's going to be really interesting editing this video later because I don't know exactly how all this stuff will stitch together, but we'll see. I don't know if it will be real time or not, but we'll find out. So yeah, it's doing its thing. It's coming down. Right, camera down and descend. It does give you a progress meter, so it's quite cool. It tells you exactly what it's doing. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's come down. I think it's at 100% now.
こういうことを2ヶ月前高校に入るまで俺は知らなかった。そう。今が一番幸せかもしれない。
I'm going to return back towards the camera. I think the drone can stay there if it wants. I'll move it back in a minute. Right, so that's weird. Okay, so I don't know what that was, but something in Chinese. But yeah, basically I'm going to go back into normal video now, start recording. Okay, right, let's bring it back over this way. How are we doing for battery? We're doing okay. We've got 32% I think left, 31%. God, it's a fast drone, it moves fast, but it's well cool. Shame the sun's gone in because it was kind of t-shirt weather for a second there. Now it really isn't. But you know, let's see how we get on. Right, the cool thing about this as well is you've got different focusing. So let's bring the drone towards me. Right, so imagine I'm there. I'm going to pull up the camera. Right, pull up the camera. Now, if I get quite close to this, let's bring it down. Right, let's bring the camera up more. Right, so I don't know if, because we haven't really got the light that we would have had. Let's turn it that way. Turn it that way. Don't know, you can't really see the whole idea is, I was going to blur me out. Right, so now I should be out of focus. Now I should be in focus. Let's try that, you know. Don't know how this will come out on the video, it may not work. Right, so you've got a depth of field with this camera basically. So let's come out of that. Right, anyway, So yeah, you can basically control the focus, but it's a shame the sun just went just as we were going to do that. So, and the thing is though, this is meant to be good in low light. So let's see how we get on. But yeah, so trying to think if there's any other cool features that we can try out with it. But yeah, basically the big headline is a 1-inch sensor, a 20 megapixel camera, and you can get 5.4K video at 30 frames a second, which is pretty cool, although it doesn't seem to be able to do it in ActiveTrack. But maybe in the future they will improve that. And now it'd be interesting. I mean, the fact that the sun's gone in might be quite fortuitous in a way, because we might be able to see how the low light is doing. So I just want to go up, yeah, whether it's picking up more light than something like the Mini 2 would have done, probably. So yeah, that's interesting. It seemed to be going a bit slower then. But yeah, it's going okay. Right, so maybe gain a bit of height. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's quite nice. Cool drone, really. It certainly feels like a big improvement on the Air 2. Yeah, so right, so it's gonna come home now, so it'll return to its return to home height, which will probably be like 60 or 100 meters or something, because I haven't really played with the settings on this drone too much yet. So that's one interesting thing. I wonder why DJI don't kind of like look at the settings that you've used on previous drones and then kind of import your settings to each drone. But maybe it's so you can set every drone up differently. Maybe they could have a setting for that. Would be useful if you've got several DJI drones, you know. So yeah, I mean, basically now it's returning home to us. It's a real shame the sun went in, but yeah, I think you get the yeah, so you can do quite a bit with that battery. Basically the battery life is meant to be, you're meant to be able to get 31 minutes basically, so it's right above us. So you should get like around 31 minutes. Now it's a 3 minutes decrease on the Mavic Air 2, but the Mavic Air 2 was like a was a lighter drone. So this is 500 and I think this is, you know, this is close to 600 grams, whereas the previous drone was like 570, I think. So basically this is a bit weightier a drone. You know, it's not quite 600, I think it's almost, and that's what makes a difference, is basically the weight of it. So but a lot of weight is going to be in that 1-inch camera, you know. So it's basically coming down now, no problem. One thing you don't get that you get on the Pro, I don't know if it's going to land on, nah, it wasn't going to land on the pad there, so I decided to sort of like stop it. Oh, hang on. Wrong button. Hang on. Right, that's... Yeah, so, you know, basically it wasn't going to land on its pad there, so... Right, so let's just turn off the recording there and bring it up to the camera so you can get another look while it's on. Yeah, and basically, you know, it's that 1-inch camera that's basically, this is kind of bridge the gap a little bit towards the Pro drone. The Pro drone had a 1-inch, so the Mavic 2 Pro had a 1-inch sensor as well, but it was a Hasselblad camera, so it, you know, obviously it was a bit better a camera. It also had a variable aperture, so it could do better in low light. They've given you ND filters in the box to try and help with that, but at the end of the day, it's not variable aperture, so remember that. We got ADS-B Air Sense on there. What that does is that basically alerts you if there's any manned aircraft near you. So if we had basically had a plane near us at any point, it would have like warned us and said, there's a plane nearby. I don't think it would have stopped anything. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have basically stopped you crashing into it as such, but it gives you a warning that it's there and that you can basically safely move out of its way or land or come low or whatever you do. But yeah, I mean, basically, the only thing that it's definitely thinner. This feels thinner to me than the Mavic Air 2's propellers. But you know, it flew pretty well. There was no issues flying there. Well, one great benefit is obviously you've got the batteries are the same, so essentially identical batteries. So if you have got a Mavic Air 2 and you upgrade to this, you can probably sell your drone but keep your batteries or whatever, and then you've got the additional batteries for use in this. Or if you keep both drones, they're interchangeable, so that's a pretty cool feature really. It's very nice to, that's quite rare. There was a big sort of like hoo-ha over the Hubsan Xeno 2 Plus, which basically the battery in that would work in a Xeno 2, but the Xeno 2 batteries wouldn't work in the Xeno 2 Plus, and that was because one of them had a chip in, and so it knew and was kind of like, oh, if I haven't got that chip, I won't, so yeah, Hubsan got a bit slated for that because it was, a bit unfair really. And the same with this. Basically, it builds on the Mavic Air 2, how good that was, but it adds, a really good, decent camera. So the upgrade on that and the mastershots, which I think some point they will probably get working in 4K. I would imagine that will be a software update at some point. So basically, it's a Mavic Air 2, but with these upward/forward sensors being added in, and your big 1-inch sort of like camera, 1-inch sensor, which is going to make a big difference. I mean, my camera that I'm filming on, which is a Sony ZV-1, that's got a 1-inch sensor in it, and that does get really good picture quality compared with, like, say, when I use a GoPro or when I use, my iPhone or whatever. You get really good picture quality out of it, and that's because it's got a 1-inch sensor. So yeah, so that's a big thing for a drone at this price range really. And basically you've got these two, you've got all the sensors apart from on the sides now. So you've got an upward sensor, you've got it so when it's flying forward, it's got that, so that's pretty cool. And everything else as per the Mavic Air Air 2. So yeah, and the big thing for Europe, UK, Europe, is ADS-B, which we didn't get last time. So we kind of were paying more for less of a drone than what the Americans got. But this time around, we've basically got what we paid for, really. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Right, I better shut this down because it's basically going to get annoyed with me just sitting here sort of like playing with it. But yeah, hopefully that was useful to you. Hopefully that helps you figure out whether you'd want to get this drone. I think it's a big upgrade. I mean, I was on the fence when I was thinking about getting this. I thought, well, what kind of, it's a bit like an iPhone, isn't it? You get an iPhone, an iPhone X, and then the next year they bring out an iPhone XS, and you're thinking to yourself, is this worth upgrading? Am I getting enough in this sort of S model to justify the price? And usually with the Apple iPhones, it probably isn't. You probably find that it doesn't really feel that much of an upgrade. With this, I don't think that's the case. I think that you've got 5.4K 30 frames a second. You've got the mastershots feature in there, which, I mean, I don't know if they'll add that to the Air 2, but it's probably just specific to this drone. So that's a nice feature. Hopefully they up the res to 4K. You've still got 31-minute flight time, so it's 3 minutes less than the Mavic Air 2, but I still think that's pretty good. And actually the price of the Flymore kit and the original drone is kind of, yeah, I mean, it is an increase on the Mavic Air 2, but I think this time the price ratio to the US was slightly better than what we expected it to be. We really thought that it'd be 1249 and the base drone being 949, but it's 50 quid cheaper on the base drone and £80 cheaper on the Flymore kit. So you're getting some good value. You get a bag. I mean, I'll show you the bag. So let's have a look at the controller. Basically pretty much the same as the Mavic Air 2's one, but it's a brilliant controller. It's actually got green lights on it this time. I don't know if you can see, but green lights. Last time when I bought a Mavic Air 2, I had white lights. I actually prefer the white, but I'm guessing that was all to do with the pandemic. Maybe they didn't have enough LEDs and they were like, oh, stick some white white ones in there perhaps. So you're getting a really good controller. The range of this as well has been increased. I believe it's 10 kilometers now if you get the American version. The European version, which is what we've got, will get you, I believe it will get you 7 kilometers. So there's a 7 kilometer range, which is pretty good. You get this bag, and in this bag is a sock that I put my camera in, but that's not what you get with it. So you've got the 2 extra batteries there, so that's cool. Don't hold them in because they will turn on. Obviously the gimbal cover, so that's, you know, that's something that you need as well. And you know, all the other stuff is back at the house, but yeah, you get the nice case basically. And actually I'm a big convert to the case. I much prefer the case because it's very easy to take your drone out in. It's relatively protective. I mean, it's probably not going to beat a hard shell case, but I like it. This bag is pretty nice. I'm a big convert to it. I really liked it on the Mini 2. So this time I did decide to go with the Fly More, and to show you guys what was in the Fly More. But yeah, it's a really good drone. Camera's a really big upgrade. So it's really not a simple upgrade really. You're getting quite a lot more than what the Mavic Air gave you. You know, you're getting that extra 1-inch sensor, you know, that 1-inch sensor over what was previously a 1/2-inch sensor is quite a big deal. You know, I mean, that's a really good size sensor. I mean, you're going to get really good like footage with that. So I think that's a really big upgrade. This isn't like your usual iPhone X to iPhone XS. This is a big upgrade. And you're getting the, I don't know if the obstacle avoidance sensors particularly make much difference on the top. I mean, I watched a video earlier where somebody who was trying to fly it a bit like a Skydio managed to fly it into some trees and lose it in a canal. So I think, you know, you still haven't got a Skydio level obstacle avoidance, but it's pretty good. I mean, most people aren't doing kind of those sort of things with the drone anyway. So yeah, you know, this is a real world review really. This isn't a highly stylized sort of, you know, review. So we're just showing you basically what the drone is and how it works. So you know, we're not pre-producing anything or anything like that. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. I like it. I'm really, you know, I'm looking forward to making more videos with it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, you know, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it's useful to you. Hopefully we'll get the drone back out again, and we'll do some more videos shortly. But yeah, I wanted to get this one out and up as soon as I could, so that you get to see what comes with this drone. But thanks very much for watching. Hopefully that's useful to you. If you like this video, could you give it a like? That'd be great. If you could subscribe, that'd be excellent. And if you could share to your friends, perfect. But thanks very much for watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.